My Lord, it appears that you will now withdraw your dynasty, and thus you yourself will finally give up your pastimes within this universe. You are the supreme controller and the master of all mystic power. But although you are fully capable of counteracting the Brahmana's curse against your dynasty, you are not doing so, and your disappearance is imminent. Purport. As previously mentioned, Krishna's own dynasty can never be destroyed. Therefore, the word Samrita means that Krishna was taking the Yadavas with him as he left this material world. However, in the eyes of ordinary, unenlightened persons, the withdrawal of the Yadu dynasty appears to be its destruction. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has very nicely explained the statement of Uddhava as follows. Krishna is addressed as Devadev, or the supreme god among the gods, because he expertly solved all the problems of the demigods by his incarnation within the universe. The Lord rid the world of demons and firmly established both his devotees and religious principles. Lord Krishna is addressed here as Yogesha because he not only performed work on behalf of the demigods, but also revealed his beautiful transcendental form full of transcendental qualities and ecstasies for the pleasure of his pure devotees. Krishna is called Punya Shravana Kirtan because when by his internal mystic potency he exhibited his human-like activities, the Lord stimulated the writings of innumerable Vedic literatures about his pastimes, and thus persons who would be born in the future like ourselves would be able to hear and chant about the Lord's activities and also go home back to Godhead. Having ensured the transcendental bliss and liberation of all his devotees, even those who would be born in the future, Krishna decided the time had come for him to leave this material universe. Uddhava could understand the Lord's desire and said to Krishna, you have instructed the Yadavas to counteract the Brahmana's curse by taking bath at Prabhakshetra. But how could mere bathing in a holy place be of greater value than seeing you, the personality of Godhead, face to face? Since the Yadavas are always seeing your transcendental form, and since you are the Supreme Lord, what is the use of their taking bath in a so-called holy place? Therefore, you obviously have some other purpose. If you actually wanted to counteract the curse, you could simply say, let this curse not act, and the curse would immediately be neutralized. Therefore, you must be Vanchakalpatarubhischa kripasindubheva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. Let's read the translation again. Sri Uddhava said, O my Lord, O Supreme God among the demigods, real piety is invoked simply by hearing and chanting your transcendental glories. My Lord, it appears that you will now withdraw your dynasty, and thus you yourself will finally give up your pastimes within this universe. You are the supreme controller and the master of all mystic power. But although you are fully capable of counteracting the Brahmana's curse against your dynasty, you are not doing so, and your disappearance is imminent. Yes. So in this verse, is describing how Krishna has completed his mission in this material world. And what is his mission? He says in Bhagavad Gita, Yada yada hidamasya glane bhavati bharata abhyutanam adamasya tadatmanam srijami aham princinadam sadhanam vanishinata distrikam dhamasnastapanataya sambhavami yuge yuge. So the Lord's mission is to re-establish dharma and to protect his devotees and to vanquish the demons. And similarly, today is Diwali. And so Lord Ram also accomplished a similar mission, that today he is returning to Ayodhya after he has vanquished the demon Ravan. And everyone is lighting lamps to celebrate his return and the destruction of evil. But we see that despite the Lord coming and destroying the demons, that after he leaves, then the demons come back, isn't it? Like after Lord Krishna leaves, what happens? Kali Yuga begins. And with the beginning of Kali Yuga, everything becomes corrupted. All the hard work that Krishna has done to establish Dharma is now defeated, isn't it? Yeah. Cricket agrees. So why does Krishna leave? Why can't he just stay? Hey, why does he allow our Dharma to come into this world? Like Prabhupada says, we all want Ram. We all want Ram Raj. Why can't Krishna just keep a Ram Raj? Yeah? If we want Ram Raj, we just don't want Ram. But if Ram was here, we could just have continuous Ram Raj and everyone could be happy and everything could be nice. But yet Krishna leaves. And our Dharma flourishes. Like after Krishna left, then Arjuna, he went to Dwarka to escort the residents of Dwarka, all the wives of Lord Krishna, to Hastinapur. So they all go in this little convoy, and there's Arjuna protecting them, the great warrior of Mahabharata. Isn't it? The great warrior of the battle of Kurukshetra, who waded him of the strong. That Krishna is the intelligence of the intelligent. And that Krishna is the renunciation of the renunciate. And that whatever things that we achieve in this world, we are at all times completely dependent on Krishna's mercy. And that in fact, whatever we achieve in this world, like Arjuna, he achieved the greatest thing. He has defeated the mighty Kaurava army. They were outnumbered even more than 2 to 1. From the mundane point of view, it seems that their situation was hopeless. That Pandavas would definitely get defeated. But Arjuna defeated them. But now without Krishna, Arjuna was finished. He was vanquished. And then when Arjuna comes to Hastinapur and relates what has happened, he felt such shame. He felt so ashamed that look what he could not do anything to protect these wives. He was defeated. But it's by Krishna's arrangement. So sometimes our defeats in this world, they hold the greatest lessons, isn't it? Like it says at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Padaudananda Tatra Shri Vajobhuti Dhruva Nitir Nirmama. That wherever there's Krishna, the master of all mystics, And wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will always certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. So when we're in this situation, where there is opulence, and there's victory, and there's power, and there's morality, then we think, yes, Krishna is doing his job. Krishna is in control. He is a good God. But when we have the opposite, here's Arjuna, Krishna's great devotee, and defeated. He has no power. There's no victory. That is also Krishna's arrangement. It's not that then now Krishna is not in control. Krishna is still in control. And in those defeats, sometimes that is the greatest lesson. That is the greatest benefit for us spiritually. Because at the end of the day, we want to become humble. And sometimes being humbled is not a very pleasant experience, isn't it? Sometimes we get humbled and we just want to had enough of Krishna. Had enough of this God. He is not being merciful to me. But that is also his mercy. Even the Krishna's defeats, we get defeated in this world, that is also Krishna's mercy. It's not that only victories are Krishna's mercy and the defeats, that is Maya's arrangement, isn't it? Like the Christians, they have this idea, there's God. They don't know who is God, don't know his name, don't know anything about him, but there's just kind of this idea, there's God, supreme being, and then there's the devil. And they're kind of duking it out. Sometimes God wins and things are good. Sometimes the devil wins and things are bad. And they blame it on the devil. The devil made me do it. Isn't it? But we understand that actually Krishna is always in control. And Krishna is showing by this pastime that now it was time for Kali Yuga to start. Kali Yuga could not start if the great Pandavas were there protecting everyone and ensuring everyone was following Dharma. Then Kali Yuga could not start. And Krishna wanted Kali Yuga to start. How could Krishna want that? Krishna is wanting everyone to be in Maya. Krishna is wanting Dharma. Is this Krishna's will? But yes, this is Krishna's arrangement, that there are 4 yugas. And there are souls that wanted to take birth in Kali Yuga. And Krishna has to facilitate their desires. And therefore Krishna is arranging that there is a Kali Yuga to facilitate those souls. So Krishna, yes, he wanted Kali Yuga to begin. And therefore the Pandavas understood that now it is time to leave. That Kali Yuga has started by Krishna's arrangement, and now it is time for us to leave this material world as their service to Krishna. Yeah. So Krishna is always in control of this material world. It's not that only when things are good, Krishna is in control, and when things are bad, now Krishna is not in control. Because there are the 3 modes of material nature. Prakriti, Kriyamana, Niguna, Kame, Savasa, Ahankara, Vimudatma, Karta, Hamiti, Manyate. So Arjuna was thinking, I'm the doer, that I've achieved this great victory. But Krishna was showing him, no, you are not the doer. Actually, I am in control. And without Krishna's mercy, he was completely defeated. But even when the 3 modes are in control, who is controlling the 3 modes? It's Krishna. So whether you're in the spiritual world, Krishna is completely in control. And when you're in the material world, Krishna is still completely in control. It's the same thing. Because where's the material world? It's not like there's the material world and then there's the spiritual world. No, the material world is inside the spiritual world, isn't it? The prison is not in its own state. The prison is inside India. Isn't it? It's not in its own state where there's its own control. It's still the government is in control. So even in the material world, Krishna is still in control. So when evil happens in this material world, it's Krishna's arrangement. So if it's Krishna's arrangement, is there really any evil? If Krishna's willing it to happen, is there really any evil? No. Krishna is allowing it to happen. He's facilitating the free will of the living entities. Even we see in Ramayana, there's Ravan, and Ram is defeating Ravan. But who is Ravan? Ravan is actually a devotee. He's giant Vijay. So they're actually devotees. So similarly, there's so many evil people in this world, like at least in Western history, they think of Hitler, the most evil person, or Stalin. They killed so many people, the most evil person. But actually, Hitler was a devotee, because everyone is a devotee. Isn't it ultimately everyone is a devotee? And I guarantee you that after maybe quite a few lives, even Hitler's going to go home back to Godhead. Krishna has a plan for all of us, even for someone who's a genocidal maniac, who's killed millions of people. Krishna has a plan for that soul to go home back to Godhead, even for him. He has a plan for every single soul. Because it's not that he doesn't know what we are going to do and how we're going to do it. He says in Bhagavad Gita, Veda aham samicchani vartmanani chadu bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu veda nakaschana. Oh Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all the living entities, but me, nobody knows. So Krishna knows. Although we have our free will, Krishna knows what we're going to do. Krishna already knows how we're going to use our free will, and he knows what situations he needs to put us in to reform our free will, so that eventually by our own free will we decide to surrender to Krishna. He has a plan. He has a plan. As soon as we entered this material world, he knew exactly how many lifetimes I'm going to have to put this living entity through some suffering so that he can realize that he should surrender to me. Krishna knows right from the start, because that is Krishna. Even in Bhagavad Gita, we see there's Arjuna, and he's having this big indecision. Should I fight? Should I not fight? And what's going to happen? What happens if Arjuna decided not to fight? How is Krishna going to win the battle of Kurukshetra without Arjuna? What happened if he decided not? Was Krishna now stressed? He's like, sure, I better convince Arjuna, otherwise there's no way I'm going to win this battle. No, Krishna is not stressed. He even says at the end of Bhagavad Gita, he says, if you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you'll have to be engaged in warfare. Under illusion, you are now declining to act according to my direction. But, compelled by the work born of your own nature, you will act all the same. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of material energy. So Krishna is saying, even if at the end of this conversation you decide, I'm not going to fight, Krishna said, you're going to fight anyway, because that is your nature. And who's controlling that nature? Krishna. So actually, under illusion, Arjuna, which is all by Krishna's arrangement, Arjuna is having this thing, should I fight, should I not fight? But actually, Krishna knew Arjuna is going to fight. Krishna even showed his universal form to Arjuna. And inside that universal form, Arjuna could see past, present, and future. It was all there. And there was the battle of Kurukshetra. And there were all the soldiers getting killed. And there was Arjuna. So you can see it was already there. It was already written. So in that way, we can understand that actually there's only because of Maya that we're thinking that Krishna is not in control, that there's some evil in this world, and this person is evil, that person is evil. That is all Maya. All the souls are just going through their different stages on their way back to Godhead. So this is the kind of vision that we have to cultivate as devotees. Because the neophyte devotee, when he first comes, he thinks only I am devotee. Everyone else is in Maya. I am the only good person. Everyone else is bad. Yeah, they have all these faults. They do that wrong. They do this wrong. They do that wrong. And maybe as they advance a bit more, they make some friends. Okay, that devotee is okay. He's a good devotee. But that one, he's bad. Bad devotee. And maybe we can expand our group of people that we are friendly with, we think are nice devotees. Maybe there's a small section of devotees we think, these are bad devotees. These are the good ones, And as we advance further, we say, okay, devotees are okay, but those non-devotees, they're demons. They are nonsense. And then he advances a bit further. He says, actually, some of the non-devotees, they're actually innocent. They actually just don't know. They just actually haven't been given this knowledge. And therefore, they don't know what is right and wrong. But this is a Madhyamadikari. And then he says, and then there are those who are just offensive to Krishna and he avoids them. Then in the Uttama Bhagavat, he says, actually, I'm not devotee. I'm not devotee. He sees actually everyone is devotee, actually. And this is the transcendental vision, that actually everyone is devotee, because everyone is on their path back to Godhead. And maybe we on the stage of our path where we're going directly, and other people on their stage of learning the hard way. But Krishna has a plan. Krishna has a plan for all of them. Of course, does that mean, when we discuss destiny, karma, people think, does that mean that I should just do nothing? That I don't have to make any endeavor. I don't have to preach. Krishna has already arranged it. No, we have to do our duty. We don't know what is Krishna's plan, Krishna's arrangement. Krishna's arrangement for us is that we must preach. We must make the endeavor. Karma doesn't mean don't make endeavor, or destiny doesn't mean don't endeavor. This is going to come anyway. Your endeavor is also part of your destiny, just like Arjuna. Arjuna still had to fight. That is his destiny. It's not that destiny means, you can do nothing, it's going to happen anyway. Even Arjuna's fighting was his destiny. So this is the idea. And therefore it says in the Bhagavatam that one should see that because of the meeting of material nature and the living entity, the universe is acting uniformly. And thus, one should neither praise nor criticize the characteristics or activities of others. Isn't it? We have this propensity to praise, this is very good, and to criticize, this is very bad. This person, very bad person, very bad devotee. See all these faults, all these bad things he is doing. And we praise, this is very good devotee. He's doing all these good things. But this is just material, isn't it? We are seeing the external characteristics of devotee, and therefore with our imperfect vision, our imperfect understanding, we are judging. Oh, this is good devotee, this is bad devotee. But we have no ability to judge. Our senses are imperfect. We are not the spiritual master. We do not see the heart of the living entity. We cannot judge. And even if we could see, that person is on their journey. They're on their path. Krishna is making arrangement for them. So we should not, and of these two things, not praise, not criticize. Obviously praising is better. If we cannot, praising is definitely better than criticizing. No. So this is the idea. We should not criticize others, because everyone is on their path, and Krishna has a plan for everyone. Like we see in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, there's devotee Ramachandra Puri. So Ramachandra Puri was kind of was kind of acting like devotee, but he was a bit of a Mayavadi. And then one day his spiritual master, he is crying in ecstasy, feeling great separation from the Lord. And Ramachandra Puri criticizes his spiritual master. Look at you, you are crying. This is nonsense. You should experience the bliss of Raman. Why are you crying? And his spiritual master is like, you rascal, disturbing my ecstasy, get out of here. So from that day on, he definitely, of course, seemed like he'd already lost the mercy, but he definitely lost the mercy. And then we have the other devotee, Ishvara Puri, who was the spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya. And he served Madhavendra Puri very nicely, even at the end of his days, cleaning his stools and really taking care of him. And he got the mercy of his spiritual master. And he experienced that great ecstasy of love of Krishna. So we have these two personalities. And then after that, Ramachandra Puri just became like a dry philosopher. He never get any taste in spiritual life. His only taste was from criticizing devotees. And so he would travel to Puri, and there he would, externally feed the devotees. I can't remember the name of the devotee, but one devotee is feeding him very nicely and saying, eat more, giving. And then when they're, okay, just to accommodate him, he'd eat more. And then he'd criticize him. Hey, look at you, overeating. What kind of a devotee are you? Enjoying your senses? He would trap the devotee and then criticize him, because he couldn't find any fault normally. So he had to arrange something to find fault. This is the kind of person he was. He was fixed in criticism. And then one day he visits Lord Chaitanya, and then he sees some ants. Ants! You must be stashing sweets. That's why they are ants. Hey, what kind of renunciate are you? Stashing sweets? So then Lord Chaitanya is like, you're correct. You are correct. You're the god brother of my spiritual master. From this day on, I will only eat 1/4 of my normal amount. So all the devotees, they were heart-struck. Lord Chaitanya is starving himself, eating so less. He said, if anyone tries to feed me more, I will leave this place. So all the devotees were heartbroken. And then Ramachandra Puri gets to hear about this. And then he starts criticizing Lord Chaitanya. What kind of dry renunciation is this? It says in Bhagavad Gita, one should be regulated in one's habits of eating and sleeping. So again, he's criticizing. And devotees are again very disturbed by this personality. And then So then eventually Ramachandra Puri, he goes off on his travels and leaves Jagannath Puri, and all the devotees, they give a sigh of relief that this personality is left. And like that, Lord Chaitanya again starts eating normally. So we can learn from this that idea of criticizing others, because we are thinking, oh, this is good, this is bad, according to our imperfect senses. This is not a good idea. And it can even come to the state where we create nama-parad and we blaspheme devotees, and our whole spiritual life is finished. We become cut off from the Lord's mercy, and we can no longer have any taste for chanting. So it's very dangerous activity. Because in this material world, Prabhupada said it's like a stage. And on the stage, some people are your friends on the stage, and some people are your enemies. But off the stage, everyone is friends. Because in the reality, in the spiritual world, everyone is devotee. Not that there are in the spiritual world, in the spiritual world, is there bad devotees and good devotees? No. Everyone is devotee. That's the reality. It's just in this world of illusion that we are having good devotees, bad devotees, good people, bad people. This duality, good and bad. Actually, it's all good. It's all Krishna. Yeah. Okay. So is there any comments or questions? Okay, Grantaraj, Srimad, Bhagavatam, Ki Jai.